This is the Bottom Shot Podcast.
Pulvereri is up high. They come out of turn number 4. Stutter between the turns. The fans come to their feet.
It is Ted Christopher still in command. Keith Rocco right there on his back bumper.
Bringing Stafford Motor Speedway's past and present together.
They are side by side running for the finish line. It's a photo finish.
Deep into turn number 3. He goes in deeper than most. Christopher is in trouble. It is Keith Rocco to slingshot to the bottom, and he'll take down the win.
A Stafford Motor Speedway production where we will hear from the personalities from the past and present that found success on the legendary half-mile oval.
The scoreboard shows goose eggs as they wait. It's Pulvereri. He wins it by inches over Richie Evans in the Spring Sizzler.
Unbelievable chain of events.
Now, here are your hosts, Paula Root and Kyle Rickey.
Back here in the Bottom Shot Podcast, and I guess you could call it fourth time is a charm here in Somers, Connecticut, with a driver that finished third, or let's see, 3 times runner-up in the SK Modified Championship standings, Todd Owen, who joins us now. This year's champion. You got it done. Congratulations on picking up that title.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, it feels great. Finally get one, not runner-up.
I mean, the fact that you lost it in a tie 2 years, or was it now 3 years ago? How good does it feel to get it done and just, it's like, this is a check off your list. I mean, this is something you've been doing this for so long. Give me the raw Todd Owen. How does it feel? You won it, you did it, you got it done. It's going on the wall. It's going in the history books. You're a champion at Stafford.
Honestly, I don't think it's actually set in that's actually the, I see clips that you put out there or the champ or whatever, and it's something I've always had to look at and just kind of be in envy, I guess, of the people that get to have these interviews that we're having today and get to have the shop tours, and you have to sit through the banquets and listen to these people talk like, oh man, but now I wish we were having a banquet where people would have to actually listen to me. But
here's your time. You can talk for as long. I'll give you the airwaves for as long as you want.
It's just a special achievement for not only myself, but every person that helps me, and it has helped me through the last 30 years of my racing to, even though we finished second a lot of times, the support I have behind me is incredible.
Talk about the season. Except the last race, very consistent for the most part. I think just one finish outside of the top 10 up until that point. I mean, what is the key to that consistency in a field that deep every Friday night?
Well, number one, you have to have a great car. I mean, that's I'm very fortunate to have a race car that is capable of starting in the back, not in the back of the pack, but mid-pack. Sure. And I think maybe being patient enough to have a good car and know where to pick your battles and when to make a move or when not to make a move is, I guess that's kind of like we were talking about before. Maybe me being the elder driver now has kind of helped me in learning. Sometimes you might want to wait a lap or two to take that spot or try to make that spot. So that's kind of, I feel, the difference in the year.
On that same note on the car, it's just something I want to. It's a question I have. The chassis, a pro car. So did the design or anything of it change at any point in the last 5 or so seasons? Because it feels like 3 or 4 years ago, all of a sudden these cars are flying, and I mean. Todd and Busch, they must have found something, is what a lot of the fans are thinking. Is that the case?
Well, I think, all race cars, I mean, whether it be a Troy or a Raceworks, Chassis Pro, CD car, them cars don't know what they're called. They're just roll bars with springs and shocks on them. So, you can make any car, I believe, go fast. It's just what each car needs and what kind of combination each car needs. And obviously, like you said, Butch, he's the driving force. He's the knowledge behind these cars. We can help build them. We can fabricate them. But he's the, if you ask me right now about 4 springs are in my car, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you because he's the one that does that part. Mm-hmm. And he's just, a genius when it comes to be able to watch a race car and listen to my feedback and making the car go faster. So that almost is a dream come true to be able to work with a guy like that when I was a kid, I looked up to because his cars always went fast, and I was always the kid trying to catch up to him as a young guy in a pro stock trying to get to that point. So it also takes an incredible motor, Donnie Wood from Rad Auto Machine. We came together probably 5 years, I guess it's been now. And not only has he become a great friend, but he keeps digging, he keeps searching to try to find more power as well. So you need all the combination. You need a great tire guy, you need a great motor, you need a great car, you need luck. Although racing, I feel sometimes you put yourself in your situations to make your own luck. But it definitely takes the whole package. It's just not one thing.
So I cut you off on the season, but I had to ask that about the car because it feels like all of a sudden these cars are flying now. And I mean,
there's nothing more special. And, back when I used to drive for Brad Heitella and Linda, he would always tell me, he said, there's nothing more special than winning with a car that you built yourself.
It's got to be pretty cool.
Honestly, now building for myself and Derek's car, and we build them, and we see guys go out there, and your brother having to win the last race in the TC race. I mean, I was screaming probably louder for him to try to win that last race than I probably ever was for myself. So it's a whole different feel that I enjoy too. So it's going really well.
What's race day like for you?
Insane.
Because you fleet of cars, you just mentioned a couple of them. Derek obviously finding a lot of success in this year's championship in the lights. Yeah. David finding success, especially at the end of the year, the last month or so. I mean, you're one of the first ones there. I'm assuming you're probably one of the last ones out. I mean, what's it like for you, that 12-hour block of time every Friday afternoon?
Well, fortunately, I do sometimes go there early just because of the fact that it takes me a good 2-3 hours to unload because there's, we unload 4 cars and, we get parked and situated and organized because when it's usually just a lot of times just me or, Missy helps me unload sometimes or Alex Grab will come early and it just I have to get organized because one thing about Stafford, when that first practice starts, it's go until you go home. There's no downtime. So you have to be organized, and that's the key to being able to do all those cars that we do, whether it be the rental cars or our own cars. You have to be organized. And, again, that takes a whole tribe of people to do it, not just myself. We get to the racetrack, we're prepared. Everything's ready to go. We try not to work on the cars when we get there because everything should be done here at the shop, not at the racetrack. So it's my hat's off to all my guys that help me, my sponsors, the people that whether it be guys that fill the gas tank or pack the coolers or everybody has their part. And I'm just fortunate enough to have the name on the roof. It's definitely a championship that everybody should be happy with, not just myself.
So let's go back to the start of the season. The goal is always to win and have, to be the champion. But was the expectation to be the champion this year coming off? You tied. The last time we had a full season, you were in the mix. You had it. You were in there. I was,
and I think I was like 46 points ahead at one point until one race I got took out. I had one bad race, and it was. I remember coming home every Friday night and you look at again, Kyle said I hate points, but we all look at them. Let's just face it. Everybody wants to look at them. So you come home, you look at it, and you go, okay, great, wow, we gained some more, and we're 40-something points ahead. Well, that was gone in a second. Just absolutely just devastating. So, you almost get to the point feeling like, man, is this ever going to happen for me? Or is it just my racing career is going to be Mr. Second, Mr. Harry Gant, who's always going to be there and always be there in the hunt, but just never get the job done. And after last year, we were real strong at the end of the year. We had a couple problems, so we weren't in the hunt for the championship, but we still had I think we finished third, or I think we were. And we went to the beginning of the year with obviously high expectations and thought we had great cars, or a great car. So. And then we just wanted to start rolling off some top fives.
Yeah, and to expand on that, it took you a while to win this year. There was a lot of unexpected drivers that got a victory before Todd Owen did, but you were quietly just clicking off that top fives, top 5, top 10, just very consistent. Was there ever a point where you're like, maybe I'm not going to get a victory this year? I think it was until June, right?
12 weeks.
Honestly,
it's halfway through the season.
As much as everybody races for wins, I love to win. It's awesome to go to victory lane. But I'm also one that a top 5 to me is something those are my goals for the year. I want to have as many top 5s as possible because obviously if you finish in the top 5 every week, you're going to be in the mix at the end of the year. And if you finish in the top 5, you're bringing your car home in one piece. To look at my year, I think I had 15 top 5s. I think that's what it was. Is an incredible stat, I think, for myself or for our team.
It's amazing.
That's what I'm proud of. The wins, everybody wants a win, but to see there, and you're in the top 5. And there's a couple other chances I had of wins that just fell short. But sometimes I may not be the driver that, which is probably going to lead you up to your next question. But I'm not the driver that maybe put myself in a spot where I may not finish a race and taking a chance at a win. So, I mean, the wins came, and then at the end, we had a couple more, and again, we just wanted to have top 5s. That was our goal for sure.
Paul mentioned there were a bunch of different winners at the beginning of the season. 6, I think, in the first 6 weeks, which we haven't seen in a long time at the racetrack. Right to competition for me this year. I mean, I feel like there were, we talk about, 8 or 9 different winners
9, yeah.
this year, just in the SKs, and probably a handful more that could have got a win. I mean, it seems like it gets tougher about every year.
I mean, the SK division is the toughest in the country, no doubt. I mean, yeah, you look at those guys, maybe Chase Dowling or Ronnie Williams or them guys, they won races, but they didn't have the greatest years.
Right.
And they just, a couple of them, they didn't even finish the years off. So it's a mentally demanding division. Not only do you have to run good, but those races are insane. I mean, I've raced open races, I've raced pro stock races, but to say a 40-lap SK race, you're up on the wheel for 40 laps. And the racing is really, really good. There's some young guys that are really clean racing, and that's kind of what I think racing should be. Maybe sometimes I'm on the other side of that from some of the younger people, but if you're a race fan and you don't enjoy SK racing, then I don't understand.
I can agree with that. I say that every week.
Yeah.
So you mentioned how intense it is. I don't want to say it's stressful, but it's a very intense 40 laps. Sitting in the stands, it's intense. It's hard to watch because those starts, you're like, how in the heck are they doing that? But kind of talk, the fan and someone who's never driven an SK or even a car in general, in a race, what it's like to be in a pack of 25 cars and you have to be calm. How do you do that? What is going through your head?
It's kind of like rush hour traffic. So if you've ever been with, there's certain people you can be with a car with that are just yelling about the guy in front of you, not how come he doesn't move or how come he's going that slow, and there's some guys that can just sit in the car and just kind of wait for it to open up. So I kind of, we drive to Waterford every Saturday, and we, there's people and yelling about people in front of you on the highway and this and that, and I'm usually the guy who just cruises. That guy's going to move. It doesn't help to get mad at the guy in front of you and yell at him or scream at him because he's got his own race going on. So I guess, I don't know, you try to be patient and have your own style, I guess.
You got to be patient, but at the same time, can it be mentally draining? Some of these races this year that go, caution-free and you're side-by-side for a majority of that event, mid-pack, trying to get to the front. Can it be not just physically demanding, but also mentally?
Oh, very mental. It's no matter how many races I've raced, before that race, your stomach is in knots. You're I wouldn't say scared because I'm not scared, but you do respect it. You respect what you're about to go out there and try to accomplish. And until that first restart, I would say you're almost white knuckle. Because you don't know what's going to happen between yourself and all the other guys out there. So, once you throw the green, it's that part of it's gone. It just leaves your mind, and you just try to do the best you can. But it seems like it's 200 laps sometimes, and it's only 40. So we had a couple, I think, green checkers this year, which were kind of odd, but I kind of enjoy that. Kind of have to set your pace and be there at the end.
What's interesting about some of those events that didn't have a lot of cautions, those ended up being some of the most exciting finishes, right? Where there'll either be a late caution or the leader backs up. Let's talk about one of the most exciting finishes of the season that involved Todd Owen and Keith Rocco.
Yeah,
going down into 3. This is the second to last event. You're in the lead. Keith Rocco, from the stands, you just couldn't believe what you just saw. He put the car so low and just got by you, and everybody was yelling. I think everybody felt kind of bad for Todd Owen in that moment because I think the whole town of Stafford and Summers and Ellington, it was Todd Owen's title to win. That's what everyone thought. And right there, I think everybody thought that Todd Owen just lost the championship. It was only you still end up third or second even, but we all were like, what?
Well, to take that race back a little bit, Keith had the race won. There was a caution that came out with, I think, 3 to go or 4 to go, and Keith was going to win that race. We were, I don't know, I might even have been, was I second or third? Whatever the case was, I think David was actually third, and Steven was fourth. And, he was, I don't know, 5 or 6 car lengths ahead of me. I weren't going to get to him. Then the restart comes out, and he gets tight, and I get by him. And, we come out, we take the white flag, and we come out of 4, and my spotter says, oh, they're going to finish it. So come out of 4, and all of a sudden the caution comes out. And I just – listen, things happen for reasons. And whether it was maybe it was a mistake by somebody, but we all are humans. Listen, drivers make mistakes every lap. Flagmen make mistakes. Officials make mistakes. People make mistakes. And, it's not a computer making the calls. And ultimately, that probably changed the outcome of the whole year. So, but back to that race, that race with Keith, he is a smart bastard. That guy.
I still can't believe how he passed you.
No.
My brain doesn't
because I tried,
it.
And he knows, too. I tried to hang him out there. Because I knew, I went in, I come out of 2, I never got on the gas because I'm like, well, I got to try to keep him out there because if I give him the bottom, he's going to probably just dive bomb at the bottom. Mm-hmm. So what happened, I kind of killed myself with my momentum because I wasn't on the gas. So when I got down the straightaway, he had a whole lot more momentum coming than I did. And, Todd Owen, Keith Rocco. Is Todd Owen making that move? Probably not.
Probably not.
Never.
I don't think so.
He says, you should have been on the bottom. I thought I was on the bottom. I didn't realize, the pit road was the bottom. But he made it work. He didn't make it work. And I wouldn't necessarily say I was mad. I would guess I was more disappointed because when he came over the next day, he came walking over the trailer, and he was like a puppy that just pissed on his floor. He said, am I invited over here still? And, me and him, we got a lot of the same things going on. He's definitely a different style than I am, no doubt. But I respect him for what he's got going on. He respects me for what I got going on. And I just asked him, I said, if that was 7 championships ago, would you have been happy if I made that move on you? And he didn't say, he kind of, he's not going to admit that, but he just looked at me and he kind of knew what I was talking about. Yeah. And, no person can drive in the corner that hard and expect that thing to turn. It wasn't going to turn. And that's why Kopchik got by him, and that's why I got back by him. Because, he just drove, he sailed it in there. That's
I would say, I try to watch as many of the SK events as I can because I'm a fan at the end of the day. And that was one of the wildest nights of racing the last, 5 laps.
So I guess it was there was 2
insane.
things. One, I was mad because of that move. Mm-hmm. 2, I was mad because
caution
came out when I was going to take the checker. But then again, looking back at it, I shouldn't have probably even won the race. I think it was actually one of my cars that spun out. I think it was Flannery that spun out too to bring the caution out. So if that caution doesn't come out, Keith wins the race. I finish second. The outcome's the same except for where Steven finishes. So,
and that's SK racing, though, right? It's the most unpredictable form of racing.
And that's why when I heard about the drop rule,
I
said, Paul, if this thing affects my year, I'm going to probably have to come strangle you. Remember, I was before the year even started. I said, if this affects my year, and every week I look at it and I'm ahead, and then you look at the drop, and it's like, I'm the only guy.
Yeah, he doesn't look at it.
Well, I do. I told you I did. And I'm the only guy. I'm like, it's the only person that's affecting is me. But all in all, it all worked out, and just to be able to call my, whether I stop racing tomorrow, I can say I conquered something that I've wanted to conquer for a long time.
Paul mentioned the emotion. Heck, you just got excited talking about it. Are you able to feel that emotion from the cockpit on any Friday? I know you're busy behind the wheel trying to win a 40-lap SK modified race, but when the stands are going nuts, are you able to feel that ever from behind the wheel?
My personality, I'm kind of calm.
You are?
Which and they'll tell you around here, I'm not calm around here. When I get in some people put their helmet on and they change and become crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I put my helmet on and I think I become calmer. And it's my only place I can go and I can just concentrate on one thing at a time, which they call me the hopper around here because I'm constantly hopping to 900 different jobs. But that's the one place I can go and I can just enjoy myself and I make my own decisions pretty 90% of the time. Bob, my spotter, Bob Lucas, has been incredible. But, the emotion part of it, that night was really cool to see how many supporters I had. Mm-hmm. And you don't really You don't really know. You look at Facebook and people, and your surveys that you take or whatever, and Keith and Ronnie, and they've always had the followers because they've got the championships, right? People follow the winners. Let's just face it, most people. But I definitely found out this year that Todd Owen had definitely a lot of supporters.
Yeah, there's a couple times I was down in the pits after at the end of the night. You're in tech and everybody's around, and there's a fan coming by and he goes, "There's the 2021 champ," and you're like, "Not yet, I'm not there yet."
Yeah.
And it was like, that's gotta feel good when you just see a random guy kind of give you a shout out.
There's nothing that gives you a better feeling than when fans come over when you're in tech, or they come over to the trailer and they look, they just want to watch the operation, and not just maybe just my car, but what you see a car go up on a lift gate and they see it roll into a trailer. I mean, that's pretty cool for local people to be able to come in the pit area and see that kind of stuff. And for myself, it's just I look back at where I was at a 16-year-old kid to where I'm at now, and it's just every part of this is just a dream that just keeps getting better and better and better. And to say that, have I been able to enjoy the championship? I don't think yet, but I know all winter long I don't have to go, man, what could I have done different? What could I have been better at? I mean, we're still going to work hard. And now once you get a taste of something, you want more, right? I mean, that's why you win. You want to win next week. In my podcast thing, that's my personality. I want something. I like it. I want more of it. So
that's a good plug. It has probably the best podcast that we've ever done.
It was awesome. Just again for myself to be able to celebrate, but to see. I mean, I've had sponsors, Cooker, Steve and Debbie. They've been with me since day one, and to finally see Steve be able to see me as a champion, which we've always tried to find out, well, that guy did this or this guy did that because, I finished second. There's always one spot we needed to be. So definitely something I'm going to enjoy this winter.
And you bring up a good point. You really haven't had time to celebrate yet. Heck, as we tape this, your season's still not done with more racing on the horizon. But is there a celebration maybe planned? Once things calm down, if they ever calm down?
I'm trying to find a date that I can actually do it at or a venue too. So it's – yeah, we're going to have a get-together of the team and all the sponsors and just try to say thanks anyway. There's no meal and there's no jacket or there's no anything else that you can give somebody to thank them, from the bottom of my heart without the help I have. None of this is possible. I mean, I have guys that support me to do this insane thing that we do with the rentals and the building of the cars, and they do it just because they love to help Todd Owen. I mean, that's bottom line. They don't get anything out of it except the gratification of helping me. So we have a great shop here. We got Derek. We got, David, Bob Charlan. All the other Chassis Pro customers that are coming aboard. It's just something special that's happening here.
So you joined Ted Christopher, Rowan Pennick, Bo Gunning, Jerry Pearl, Mike Christopher. I mean, it's a pretty impressive list of drivers who have SK titles at Stafford. I mean, Todd Owen's on there now. It's got to feel good.
Yeah, it's something that you can never take it away, right? You can't take it off the record book. So, again, now it'd be great to be a back-to-back champion.
Yeah,
but,
so we're
gonna take one at a time.
How many more titles does Todd Owen have in him?
Well, I mean, I look at I think my last 4 or 5 years have been some of my best ever. So, I think we definitely have a whole lot more ahead of us to try to do.
Well, Todd, you're a great champion. Everyone's excited. I mean, you're a fan favorite. I don't know if that's always been the case, but I think you definitely are now. We're proud to call you a champion at Stafford, and we're honored to add you into the history books at Stafford.
I appreciate you guys coming here, and like I said, you watch numerous banquets, and these movies come on, and anybody that finishes second or third or fourth or fifth or 10th, you dream of having this video, right? I mean, whether people say it or not, everybody looks up there and goes, man, I wish that was at my shop. So now I can sit back and look at it and say, man, he finally came here and we did one here and accomplished something that I've been trying to do for a long, long time.
And if you haven't caught Todd Owen's Bottom Shop podcast, it is amazing. He goes into his whole story, emotional. It's very good. Check it out.
Definitely. All right, guys. Thank you.